This may be the church building, but this isn't the church.
This may be the backlot, but this isn't the church.
This may be where we worship, but this isn't the church.
This may be where we get real and honest. This may be our small group room, but this isn't the church.
We are the church!
Welcome to the Backlot Live.
Welcome to the Backlot Live. We are so excited to have you here with us tonight, parents, students, small group leaders, and other first-time viewers. We have a great night ahead of us. We have a fun game, an encouraging message, and small groups afterwards via Zoom. Students, if you're not already in a small group, please comment below and we'll get you added in one, or you can go to the Corinth Students Instagram page and we will get you added in, and you can message us directly and we'll get you added in that way also. Tonight, as we start, I just want to encourage you and challenge you to stay connected. Don't drift, put down your phones, put down other distractions and get somewhere you can focus, and then fix your eyes and your heart on what the Lord really has for you. I'm excited, we're excited. At this time I want to turn it over to Caleb and Bryce.
All right, what is going on, Corinth students?
What's up, everybody?
What is up? Hey, my name is Caleb. If you have not met me yet, I get to be the student pastor here at Corinth Church. This is my good friend Bryce. He is one of our high school students, but this is what, week 4? Week 4 of the Backlot Live.
We're working our way up there.
Why don't you tell first-time viewers what we're doing right now?
Well, right now, we usually meet on Wednesday nights at the Backlot at the church, but obviously we can't right now because of other circumstances that are taking place in the world right now. And instead, we're doing the Backlot Live on YouTube every Wednesday night, 6:30.
Right. So what the Backlot is we meet every single Wednesday night, just like Bryce said, and we call it the Backlot. That's our gathering place of middle and high school students here at Corinth. But what I want you to do right now, if you're watching right now, I want to see the comments come up. I want you to put the thumbs up emoji in the comments. We want to interact with you during this time. We're going to give some giveaways. We got some stuff. This is we've done giveaways before, but we're about to give away a really good giveaway in a second. So I want to see people popping up and putting things in the comments. We want to talk back and forth. But let's say this: on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being bad, terrible, and 10 being great. Let's say amazing. Okay, like at Disney World.
Yes.
Okay, between 1 and 10, how great was your day?
Comment
how
below.
Great was your day?
So
let's see it. So I want to see them coming in the comments. How great was your day? Between 1 being like not so good and 10 being really, really, really good. We got people coming in. What's up, Jackson? We want to shout a couple of you up. Kathy Brown is watching. She's hoping that we deliver something to her house tonight with a giveaway, right? But man, we are excited about tonight. This is going to be awesome. We got a lot of cool things planned. We have a new game we're going to play tonight.
A spicy game.
It's going to be a spicy game. It's going to be awesome. You're not going to miss it. Stay on the entire time. So spring break is over.
Yes, it is.
Right. So tell me how your spring break was. Did you go anywhere for spring break?
I did not. I stayed at home. I still had a lot of schoolwork to do because that sucks. But it was.
That's great. And probably a lot of people watching had vacations scheduled for spring break.
Yeah, they did. They got canceled. A lot of my friends.
And we're not really supposed to go on spring break anyway. Yeah. So we've been at home. We're watching the Backlot Live. But online school is back, and we hope that you're having a great week in online school. But Bryce, my friend Bryce here, how has online school been for you?
Honestly, it's been pretty great for me. Not much has changed as far as the classes and everything. However, my methods of learning have changed a little bit.
Really?
Which have caused my grade to skyrocket.
Get
a lot
so
better.
You're a booster right now.
I am doing great right now in all my classes.
All your classes. I mean, we're talking about math, recess, PE, weight training,
lunch,
cross country.
Lunch, dude. How could you
lunch is one of your classes, right? You can't forget lunch.
Can't forget lunch.
So I've asked Bryce to come on the show today, and we've asked Bryce the ways that can help you thrive in online school. The ways in which you can totally skyrocket your grades. You're going to become the best student that your school has ever seen.
To slay those classes.
In the history of the school.
Yes.
So Bryce is a great student, but he has given us 6 things to help you. So I want you to write these things down. I want you to screenshot on YouTube. I want you to comment if you're doing this, the thumbs up emoji. But we're going to keep commenting. We're about to do a giveaway before we go into this. But we want to comment between 1 and 10, how great was your day? But Bryce, let's start from number 6.
I have 6 things, yes.
6 things that you're going to tell the people, middle school students, high school students, small group leaders, even parents. I mean, I think that the parents that are watching right now could benefit from you.
Anyone can benefit from this.
Yes,
tips.
you may be the next CEO of online school.
I may be.
All right, so let's do this.
Yes.
Why don't you point us on how and what we're going to do? Let's talk through it.
So Caleb and I have conducted a lot of research on the best ways that the human brain can learn and operate, especially under online school with this quarantine.
Under intense stress.
Yes, intense stress and lots of distractions.
There is lots of distractions
since you're at home. And so we've come up with 6 tips. And number 6, our first tip, is frequent napping.
Frequent napping.
You got to nap on a regular basis. Your brain needs to rest.
Yeah, right.
If you're not napping, and because we all know we're staying up super late because we're like, oh, I don't have school tomorrow. I can wake up whenever I want. Yep. So you're going to be tired staying up late. You got to nap on a regular basis.
Now, I don't want you guys to lie to us either because you're TikToking until like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't lie.
I am.
I know you are. You're a
it.
TikTok fan. You're a hype TikTok
I'm a hype guy.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I can understand this. So I understand the frequent napping.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get rest. You got to get your sleep because you have a long day of online school. A lot of you have a lot of hard classes, and I get it. So I can understand this, okay, frequent napping, and this has helped you. How many, if you were to say how many naps that you take a day?
Probably 7 or 8 naps.
Probably 7 or 8 frequent naps.
Yes.
How long are these naps?
An hour, 30 minutes, or an hour.
And 30 minutes. And so you're sleeping like 8 hours during the
day,
school day.
and then none at night. So.
You are skyrocketing your grades right now.
That's my grades.
Yeah. Okay, well keep us going. I mean, I can understand this. I can see that.
Yeah. Tip number 5, I came up with hour-long snack breaks.
Hour-long
Because
snack
you can't have you can't like just go grab a snack. You can't have a little 10-minute snack. You gotta, just like with the napping, you gotta rest your brain. You gotta rest everything. Okay. And you gotta eat. Man's gotta eat.
Well, so. I feel like whenever I'm hungry, I can't work as well. And so I can understand you doing this because you do need, okay, so if you were to tell everybody right now, what was your favorite snack during quarantine?
Favorite snack? Ramen noodles.
Ramen noodles.
I do love
cheap,
some ramen
but
noodles.
Great, right?
Yes.
Do you put the chicken flavor or?
Chicken is the only way to go.
The only way to go. Yes. I usually just do the butter noodles.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Butter and noodles.
So you're talking about an hour-long snack break. So how many snack breaks would you say you take in a normal day?
3 or 4.
So you're sleeping 8 hours during the school day, and you're also eating between 3 and 4 hours snack breaks.
Yes,
understand? There's a lot of good snacks out there. So you want to make sure you're not hungry while you're doing your online school.
Yes.
Okay, so I can understand that part.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
You gotta have the food. Number 4 though is puppy breaks.
Puppy
snuggles. You gotta. I actually don't have a puppy, but I figured that most of the viewers have dogs, and so they cuddle. I actually have a cat. And my cat doesn't necessarily like me.
Why don't you tell everybody your cat's name?
My cat's name is Nike because he has little white feet. And he's not the biggest fan of me, so he doesn't like to snuggle with me, but I like to try and snuggle with him every now and then.
And he scratches on you from that?
Yes, he does. Give me scars, some battle wounds.
So puppy snuggles, I can definitely see this. And if you love puppies, give me what should they put in the comments? They can try. Is there a puppy emoji? Let's try to find a puppy emoji to put in the comments.
Or a cat emoji if you like cats.
Yeah, cat emoji. That's great too. So if you don't have a puppy, go and grab one from your local. Well, I'd say PetSmart, but PetSmart may be closed right now.
Your local Kroger.
Your local Kroger. There's puppies everywhere.
Yes.
Okay, so Bryce, I can kind of see this a little bit. Like I have a little puppy, and I love snuggling with them.
Studies have shown that when you snuggle with little puppies and even babies, that you get, relaxing.
Stress.
Yes, reduce stress.
Understand. This is a new way to thrive, people.
This is how you get better grades. Number 3, recess.
Recess.
Recess can entail a lot of things. So in elementary school, pre-K, we had recess. And that kind of faded away in middle school. Yes, we did. In middle school and high school, it kind of drifted away. But now, I'm trying to bring it back. And
you're trying to bring back recess?
Since we can't do much outside, recess to me, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus. Disney Plus for me is my favorite.
That's what your go-to right now?
Hulu's, yes it is.
So
Hulu's my number 2.
If you're listening right now, in the comments, by the way, Bryce is a senior in high school, and he wants to bring back recess to all the high schools in town. So if you're the superintendent watching right now, you should probably bring back some recess for these kids for online school. Netflix, Hulu, Prime Video, and Disney Plus. Comment in the comment section what your favorite recess activity is. From this. You said Disney Plus. What on Disney Plus are you watching?
I am watching a lot of The Simpsons right now.
Okay.
There's 31 seasons, and there's like 20-something episodes in every single season.
All right.
So there's
a lot of people watch The Mandalorian. A lot of people watch Toy Story. I would definitely suggest Lion King.
Yes, Lion King is good. A lot of people are watching on Netflix though. All American.
All American. It's a great show. I love that show. Football.
If you're watching All American, comment below that you like All American.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, so the first two, Bryce. Okay, this may be a little bit out there. I'm not sure if it's going to help many people, but
just
maybe
have an open mind.
Okay, so let's keep
Number
going.
2, cultural studies is what I like to call it, and this can consist of Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, whatever social media that you have and that you spend the most amount of time on.
Let me get this straight. You're calling this cultural studies?
Yes. It's like culture,
Who's teaching this class, by the way?
You can teach yourself. I teach it very well. You can tune into my classes if you'd like.
So out of those, what do you think you use the most?
Definitely TikTok.
So you think you're getting cultural studies from TikTok?
I am getting.
Okay, so out of those, from your cultural study classes online, what social media are you using the most? TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. Maybe not for Facebook for some of our middle school students.
But
for our small group leaders and parents listening,
yes.
they're probably using Facebook right now. They're posting all over the place right now. That's awesome. So this is where I start to question you. Seriously, I start to question you because I don't know if I could thrive with this cultural studies. But I'm going to give you one more chance. Hopefully by the end of this, we'll get some stuff.
We are about to find out the best way, the number one best way to figure out how to do great while you're doing your school online at quarantine. This is the number one best way. Proven.
Yep.
By science.
Your science.
Yes, my science.
Made up Bryce science. Okay.
Made up Bryce
science.
Let's show
it.
And it is to capture and interrogate a homeschooler to see how they have done this their entire life.
So this is where the homeschoolers thrive right now.
Yes, it is.
Because they have been doing online school for maybe their entire life right now.
Yes.
So I want to just shout out right now, Gavin, Austin, Thane Cowan, comment your phone number below in the comments because a lot of people may be calling you. You've been doing this a long time, but you say reach out to homeschooler because they've been doing this the entire life.
Yes.
For you, you've created these 6 things. And you may even write a book about them one day.
I might write a book and sell it.
The publisher may be publishing the book next week.
Yes,
we could do
probably.
That. Can I do your forward?
Get your copy. Yeah, you can do it.
Okay, sure, I'll do that.
I'll let you have it.
That's awesome. So there's 6 ways for you to thrive. These are Bryce's ways to thrive, and I'm not saying they're going to work for everybody. They probably won't, but maybe they'll work for you. They work great for Bryce. But man, that is so good. I know online school has been tough, and we're kind of getting the gist of that. But maybe take those 6 concepts, and you'll do great. So I think it's time for a giveaway. Bryce.
Ooh, I'm ready for a giveaway.
So here's a giveaway this week. We've given away pizzas. They have gotten in your house before the show has even been over.
Before the show's even over.
Which is crazy for me to even think of. But this week, we're going to not deliver anything during the show. We're going to wait. On Monday of next week, we're going to deliver Chick-fil-A to you for lunch.
Let's
go. Are you going to deliver this?
I am not going to deliver.
But
I could.
You can ride with me.
Actually, I'll be open. I'll
we'll be open to it.
Be a servant is what.
But we're going to do a giveaway, and if your name lands on the screen, we put a comment on Instagram. If you comment on our post, this is what you're going to get: Chick-fil-A for lunch next week, whatever you want. Okay?
Mondays are rough.
Mondays are a rough day.
And you can just get it. You can get it for lunch. You can get it for dinner, whenever you want.
Yeah. So okay, let's go ahead. Let's give away the giveaway.
Let's spin that giveaway.
Spin it up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. 3, 2. What'd you call it?
1. Go.
Kaylin Cooper. That is awesome.
Free
Kaylin
Chick-fil-A on Monday.
Has been quarantined in her house for 57 years.
Yes, she has.
So far. We may be able to see her in the year 2025 when this is all over. So that's okay. But Kaylin, we're going to deliver Chick-fil-A to your house next week. Maybe it's number 1. Maybe it's number 2. We don't really know what it is. But you love Chick-fil-A. We love Chick-fil-A. We're going to give that to you. So at this time, we started a new segment in the Backlot Live starting this week. And we've asked a lot of our students, hey, what is God teaching you during this quarantine time? So for you right now, take a look at this video and see what God is teaching our students.
Hey guys, I'm Haley Klish, and I wanted to share with you guys what God has taught me during quarantine. So before all this started, I was living my normal life, and I was constantly going, and I felt like I didn't have a lot of extra time for things. And then all of a sudden, God said, nope, here's all the time in the world. And during this time, I've realized that God's given me a lot more gifts than I thought He had. I was so focused on just a couple things before all this. And He's really just opened my eyes, and it's made me realize that, like, God is our creator. He's the reason why we have the abilities and the things that we do, and that I need to be more focused on him and his assignments for me and not anybody else's. So, thanks.
Hey guys, it's Dex. I'm a freshman at Buford, and I'm going to share with y'all what I've learned through quarantine. So quarantine has taught me a lot of things, but the most important would be that everything happens for a reason. I can say that this is true for me because before quarantine I was putting all my focus in school and sports, and I wasn't even making it to church because I had practice 5 days a week. But after quarantine hit, it was like a slap across the face because everything I thought I needed changed. Like school, I don't even know what's up with school anymore, and practice, there is no lacrosse team, so that's out of the picture. So I definitely think it's helped me for the better because I can put my focus in what I need to, which is God, and I've been able to go to church again. Even though it's on Zoom, it still definitely helps me. So all in all, I do think everything happens for a reason.
Hey y'all, it's Madison. I just wanted to share what God has been teaching me during quarantine, and that is that time with your family is precious, because usually I'm working every day until 8 or 9 o'clock, and when I get home, usually everyone is just kind of settled down. I don't see them like at all, and now I spend every waking moment with them, and we eat dinner, we watch movies, we sit out by the pool, and it's just been great to see them and to just grow my relationships with them, because I haven't had the time, or just it's just been crazy. And I really thank God that this has happened, because if it wasn't for this, I would not have this deep connection with my family. This is the best thing that has happened to me in a really long time, and I thank him for it. I hope you're having a great quarantine, and I hope you're looking to the positives. Enjoy the rest of this video. Bye.
Hey guys, my name is Matthew Turner, and I'll be sharing with you what I've been learning during this quarantine time. One thing I've learned a lot is just to appreciate the little things and appreciate what we had before this time. For example, hanging out with the community, that people I had around me. Another thing I've learned a lot is just with my quiet time, I've really had a lot more time to spend in scripture and spend in prayer with God. He's really kind of shown me what he's really been wanting to do with my life, and the lessons he's been teaching me, just with being able to read scripture, spend a lot more time in the Word, in His Word, and spend a lot more time in prayer with Him. I think it's one of the two things I've learned a lot. So thank you guys, and I hope you stay safe.
Well, welcome back. We are so proud of our students because they are really honing into what God is doing in their life right now during this quarantine time. This is a new segment for the Backlot Live this week. I have my, I was about to say co-host, but I have I'm going to say you're my guest right now because of the setup. I feel like we're on like a professional show right now. This is my guest, Ty, and welcome to the hot seat. Okay, so tonight, this is what we're going to do. We're going to ask Ty a couple questions, but the thing is with the hot seat, it's about to get really, really, really spicy. Before Ty answers the question I give him, he is going to have to take a bite of the jalapeno pepper before he answers. We're going to see how many questions we can get through tonight. Welcome to the hot seat, Ty. Is there anything that you want to tell the fans today on YouTube with our thousands of viewers?
You know, Caleb, I really think I was born for this challenge right here.
Are you feeling any heat right now that you're sweating inside?
To be honest, yes. I'm really kind of sweating already.
That's great. So this is what I need you to do. I'm going to ask you a couple questions, but I'm going to go ahead and give you. We're going to start out pretty big. I'm going to give you the biggest jalapeno pepper we have. I want you to take a big bite of that, and then I'm going to ask the question, okay? And then you're going to take a bite, and then you're going to answer. Okay? Are you ready? Actually, go ahead and take a bite right now.
How big of a bite?
I want you to take up half the jalapeno pepper.
Oh.
Go ahead. Chew it up. Come on. Great job. Now start chewing up. Now, you're going to have to answer this question right now. What's your favorite crayon flavor, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. That was a little different than I thought was going to happen. So we want to keep it together right now. We got some more questions. I'll ask you this one while you're chewing that, okay?
Wait, I need to get another one.
Well, okay. Well, you can have this.
No, I don't want any more of that one.
Finish that one. We don't have that. We have many questions, so you can take a small bite of this. We'll do 2 bites out of this one. Okay?
Holy cow!
Next question. Go ahead and take a bite of that. All right. When you're doing your math homework, do you take the dog out after? True or false? What? You got to answer the question. True or false?
Wait, ask the question again.
Okay. When you're doing your math homework, do you take the dog out after? True or false?
True.
True. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Take another bite.
Holy.
What fruit do you ride with when you shop in?
Jalapenos.
Jalapenos. Awesome. Okay. Take one more bite of that, please.
One more.
Yeah. This is with serious questions right now. This is when it starts to get spicy, people. Awesome. Here we go. One more bite, please. It doesn't have to be as big. Okay. How many squares of toilet paper do you use on an average sitting?
I think 2.
2 squares of toilet paper. Wow, that is awesome. You must be pretty clean. Okay, let's keep going.
Can I have some water?
Yeah, sure. Here's a water bottle. You can even wipe your tongue on that Kleenex right there. Welcome to the hot seat, everybody. Ty, would you say right now it is pretty spicy in your mouth? Here, I'm going to go ahead and give you another jalapeno pepper. Take this for the hot seat. It is spicing up in here. It is getting hot. Here comes our serious questions, everybody. Ty, take a bite of that. Take a small bite. You can take a small bite or half of it. That's fine. Oh, yeah, that's good. Are you single or taken? Answer wisely. You got to chew it up.
Taken.
Oh, taken. Okay, so one more bite, please. What is your ideal first date?
Let's see. Sorry. I would really went down the wrong place.
Went down the wrong pipe. Yeah.
Well, the non-ideal first date is don't take someone to the movies.
Okay.
Because
you can't talk to them.
You can't talk to them.
Right. That's good.
So oh my gosh. Maybe you should go on a picnic or something. I don't know.
Okay, a picnic. Okay, let's take. Let's have one more bite of that. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. All right, Ty. What's your Wi-Fi password?
I really don't know.
It's
automatically
if
connect.
Sally and Randy are watching right now, Sally, Ty doesn't know his Wi-Fi. You're gonna have to help him out. Okay. Okay. So here's one. Take another small bite. We got a couple.
None of this one.
You want to do another one? Yeah. Okay. Here's a bigger one.
Should have taken the other one.
Okay. So what is something that many people don't know about you? Maybe before you got born. That's a great thing to answer.
Well, many of you probably don't know that I actually was a twin. So I get to tell people that I actually ate my twin in the womb. So that's a really fun thing.
Okay,
so.
I'm glad. I'm sure that no one actually knew that about you. And actually, if the camera was they zoom in on me, you would be saying that's pretty weird right now. But it's okay. So Ty, take a little bit larger bite right now. This is the hot seat, and it gets spicier as we go. What does your family look like? Mom, dad, sister, brother, stuff like that. Tell me about that.
I have a mom and a dad.
Why is it making you cry? You love them so much. You love them so much.
They're doing so good.
You're doing such good parents.
I have a mom and a dad, and a brother and a sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
a brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's keep on eating. Okay. Jalapeno peppers for everybody. Take one more bite, Ty.
This is not fun, y'all.
What has been your favorite snack during quarantine?
Not jalapenos.
Not jalapenos, right? That
I don't think I'll ever eat another jalapeno in my life.
Ever again. Okay,
No.
Take one more bite.
Wait, I didn't answer the question. I was just saying it wasn't jalapenos.
Oh, you said it wasn't jalapenos.
Yeah, my favorite snack probably has been chicken salad.
Chicken salad on Ritz crackers?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay, take another bite.
I need some more butter. I can't hardly feel my tongue.
Yeah, your throat might start bleeding in a second. It's okay, though. You're lucky we didn't get the habanero ghost peppers, people. I almost put those out at Kroger, by the way. Okay, let's take one more bite, Ty. That's a pretty big jalapeno pepper. All right, so Ty, tell me your most embarrassing story.
Well,
back in the
Oh, God.
It has to be appropriate, too, for the YouTube viewers.
I really don't know my most embarrassing story. What about my most embarrassing, school photo?
Sure.
My 5th grade photo was probably my most embarrassing. Mm-hmm. It became so popular among the people in my school.
You were already Instagram famous.
That they made a meme about me based off my 5th grade picture. So that was probably the most embarrassing moment.
How you feeling right now? We can small talk for a little bit as we finish these questions.
I really don't know. My tongue is kind of numb.
You can't feel your tongue.
No.
Your eyes are watering right now, by the way. Is the back of your back sweating a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, take another bite, please.
There's so many seeds.
You can do this. The seeds are what. That's all right. You're tough, Ty. All right. Here we go. What would you buy if you won the lottery?
Probably. How much money am I winning?
Oh, this is the lottery.
Okay. I'd probably buy a house.
Okay, for yourself?
Yeah, just for myself.
What about for a whole student ministry? New student building?
Yeah, maybe.
Cool. Trampoline park inside, basketball court, putt-putt, bunch of jalapenos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, here, let me give you, let's see the size difference in this.
Okay.
These are probably the biggest one left. Here we go.
Caleb.
Okay, let's go to the next question. Take a bite, please. We have two left, by the way. So you got 2 more bites of jalapeno pepper. All right. If you were to go anywhere in the world right now, where would it be?
So I've really been interested in going to Hawaii.
Oh, okay. That's my bucket list.
Never been. There's a really cool Disney resort in Hawaii.
Right.
So that'd probably
that'd be pretty fun.
Where I was going to go.
They kind of use jalapenos in their food there in Hawaii. Will you be eating this?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay, so Ty, this is the last question of the hot seat of quarantine 2020. Okay, you're gonna have to take a really big bite. There you go. Finish that pepper. Here we go. Oh yeah, that would make you burn right there. Okay, Ty, go ahead and chew that sucker up. Last question is this: if you can meet and have dinner with any person who ever lived, who would it be and why? And what would you ask that person? You were so moved by this. I didn't know that you cared about this person so much.
Well, I'd probably want to have dinner with you, Caleb Parrish.
Okay, wow.
Because you're just a great person, first off.
Thank you. I didn't know I moved you that much.
Wait a second. Secondly, I would ask you, why did you make me play this game?
That's awesome, Ty.
So,
if there was a famous person, is there anyone that you would want to eat dinner with?
Probably the president. I don't
Okay.
know. Just like any president. It doesn't have to be this year's president. Just any
Awesome.
president, in general.
What would you ask him?
Like what made them want to become president?
Okay, right, awesome.
Yeah.
So, students, middle school and high school students, thank you for joining in for the hot seat. We want to thank Ty. So if you're at home, give a round of applause for Ty. He is going to go, cut his tongue off right now and maybe get a new tongue and maybe a new esophagus. But that's okay. Maybe your throat is bleeding right now. But give a round of applause for Ty. We're so proud of him. Take a look at this video.
In the quiet silence, there is an eternal conversation between Creator and creation. But we can hardly hear. It's the violence of sound, the breakneck speed of things. Has noise become our only defense? But we are drawn by a whisper that we might hear and retune the senses as he waits for our response.
All right, welcome back to the Backlot Live. Every time I watch that video, it just reminds me right now what's important really in our life. If you're one of our middle and high school students at Corinth, I just want to say welcome back from spring break. I hope your online school is going great for you right now. But in fact, let me know in the comments how online school is going or how excited you are to start back school, maybe to have some interactions. 1 being not excited or 10 being super, super, super excited to start back school. But if you're tuning in for the first time tonight, maybe you're a parent watching for the first time, Wednesday nights in the Backlot, we always say is the best night of the week. And we say that because there is nothing more important for our students at Corinth to be in than the Backlot on Wednesday nights, because we know how important it is into their faith journey, because it is the best night of the week. So we're not meeting physically in person because we can't right now, but Wednesday nights in the Backlot Live is still the best night of the week. And we always say that wherever we are in the Backlot, it is the best place to be. So whether you're watching in your car, maybe you're watching in your living room, maybe you're around the family or around the table, maybe you're in your bedroom, wherever you're watching, that is the best place to be right now. And in fact, if you're watching for the first time tonight and you're not plugged into one of our small groups, or you're not connected to our student ministry, hey, drop your email in the comments, and one of our student ministry staff will get back to you on how you can join one of our small group gatherings here after the Backlot Live is over in Zoom. And so over the past couple of weeks, we've been looking at some words that can help push us during this time, push us forward. And the first week we looked at, we worked at peace and what peace does for our life, is that we actually all need peace. The world right now is in a crisis, and what we need the most right now is peace. The opposite of peace is chaos, and it looks like if you and you know this, you turn on the news, you read an article, you know that this world looks like chaos, and what we need is peace, and that Jesus is the peace and can only give us the most satisfying peace there is. Lastly, we looked at a 4-letter word called hope. And we learned that hope is what's going to push us forward during the season because of what Jesus did on the cross for us, that he died and that he was buried, and that 3 days later that Jesus Christ, Lord of all, King of kings, rose from the dead, proved that he was a conqueror of death, forgave us of our sins. That is the hope that we have because Jesus is the victor. We also learned that during this time we need to have an attitude of gratitude during this time. The need would be to be thankful during this time, so that gratitude will lead us to having peace. And tonight we're going to look back into Jesus' life, and in fact we're actually going to look at one of my favorite stories in the entire Bible tonight in Jesus. And we're looking at these crisis times that Jesus may be in, and actually during the time that we're about to look in, and we find this in John 13, 1 through 15. And so I want you to grab your Bibles. Try not to use your phone right now because you may be watching this, but grab your Bibles, turn to John 13, 1 through 15. I'd love for us to all read it out of the physical Bible and read it out of Scripture together. Before we get there, I'll let you get there. I'm going to ask a big question for tonight. The big question for tonight, you can screenshot this, you can write this down, maybe you're using a journal. I want you to ask yourself this question right now. I want you to be really, really honest with yourself. The question I want to ask you is this, is what am I serving? I want you to ask yourself the question is, what am I serving? And Jesus, being one of the greatest communicators of all time, taught in many ways. He taught in different parables, right? He taught in different stories as he was going around with his disciples. But one of the ways that Jesus taught in the time was he actually gave real-life illustrations. And actually in the story that we're about to read in John 13, Jesus is actually giving us a real-life illustration of what he's trying to teach. So we're going to read this all together, but if you have your Bible, I want you to read it together. All the words aren't going to be on the screen, but we're going to dissect this and talk about this tonight. We find ourselves in the story of Jesus knows that he is about to be betrayed. He knows what's about to happen to him on the cross, that he is going to die, and he also knows that 3 days later he's going to defeat death. We find ourselves in this chapter in John 13, and really the title for the whole section is that Jesus washes his disciples' feet. So read this with me. It starts in verse 1. It says, "Before the Passover festival, Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart from this world to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end." I want you to circle that word love, because that's what Jesus does to us, is he's always loving us. "Now when it was time for supper, the devil had already put in the heart of Judas, Simon the aristocrat's son, to betray him. Jesus knew that the Father had given everything into his hands, that he had come from God, and that he was going back to God. So he got up from supper, laid aside his outer clothing, took a towel, and tied it around himself. Next, he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet and to dry them with the towel tied around him. He came to Simon Peter, who asked him, 'Lord, are you going to wash my feet?' Jesus replied back to him, 'What I'm doing you don't understand now, but afterward you will understand.' And then Peter says back to Jesus, 'You will never wash my feet,' Peter said. Jesus replied, 'If I don't wash you, you have no part with me.' Simon Peter said to him, 'Lord, not only my feet, but also my hands and my head.' One who was bathed, Jesus told him, doesn't need to wash anything except his feet, but he is completely clean. You are clean, but not all of you." For he knew who would betray him. This is why he said, "Not all of you are clean." And here it comes in verse 12. "When Jesus had washed their feet and put on his outer clothing, he reclined again and said to them, 'Do you know what I have done for you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you speak rightly, since that is what I am. So if I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you ought to wash one another's feet. For I've given you an example that you also should do as I have done for you. And I kind of want to recap the story. This is actually probably one of the most famous stories in the entire Bible. Is the story of Jesus washing his disciples' feet. And we see this. Jesus is in the room with all his disciples, and he knew that his time was coming to the end when he was going to be on earth, right? And he wanted to actually teach his disciples something important at that time. And he knew he didn't have much time left, so what's something that could be so impactful to teach his disciples? He knew he didn't have much time left. And he also knew during this time that Jesus was washing disciples' feet, he knew that Judas was going to betray him. He knew those things were going to come. And what does he do next, right? The next thing Jesus does is he takes a towel and he wraps it around his waist, looks at his disciples and starts talking to them. Now, what he does, as we see next, is Jesus is actually washing his disciples' feet. And for many of us, we may know the story, but in those days, feet washing was needed in every single home, just like it is in your house today, or just like it is in my house today. But feet washing was needed in every home. Why? Because the streets at that time were really dirty. They were really dusty, right? And they had there was garbage in the street, and there was also waste from animals, because they would take the farmers would take the animals down the road, and that's how they would transport the animals back and forth. And so at this time, right, the disciples and all the people in the time, they weren't wearing Air Force Ones, right? They were wearing sandals, and they were wearing sandals with no socks. And so you can just imagine walking on dirt, walking on dust, walking in garbage during that time of how dirty your feet might have actually been. And so for this time, it was the usual custom during the time for the lowest servant in the house to wash that person's feet. Whenever someone would come over, they would wash their feet, right? And because of that time, it was a really lowly task to do of washing the feet. And then we see this, and we see Peter's response next. And it says this: He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, Lord, are you going to wash my feet? Jesus replied, you don't realize what I'm doing, but you later will understand. No, said Peter, you shall never wash my feet. Jesus answered, unless I wash you, you have no part of me. Then, Lord, Simon Peter said, not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well. I can just imagine Peter. This is a point where Peter just put his foot in his mouth. And we see that a lot of times in Scripture. But what Peter did during this time, he said, okay, well, Lord, then wash all of me, right? He says, no. And what Peter thought during this time is that it was socially unacceptable for someone like Jesus to wash his feet, right? And it's because of the times that they were living in. And so when Jesus tried to wash his feet, Peter's like, no, you're not washing my feet, right? And then Jesus says back to him, Peter, if you don't let me wash your feet, then you have no part of me. And Jesus is like, well, just go ahead and wash my whole body, right? This is where Peter was messing up. Peter thought this was a lesson about being clean. And obviously during this time, Jesus wanted it to be a little bit deeper because there's a spiritual meaning behind this, right? After doing this, Jesus starts to explain what he's doing to his disciples. And this is what Jesus says, and this is what I want us to underline in our Bible. He says, when he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and returned to this place. Do you understand what I've done for you? He asked. You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so. That's what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example. I want you to underline that word in your Bible, the word example, that you should do as I have done for you. I want to share with us a couple of things that we can take away from this amazing story, one of the most famous stories in entire Scripture, and how we can apply it to our life tonight, even on YouTube. The first thing that I want us to focus on tonight is this, is that love serves. Is that love serves, right? Jesus wanted us to know the full extent of his love. And look at the position that Jesus is doing. When he wraps a towel around his waist, look at him, the position that he's doing. He's getting low. He's putting others above himself. Love always puts the other person before itself. Love is other people focused, not me focused. Our vision for 2020 in our student ministry is to impact the culture, to celebrate people, and to be the light. The second thing is to celebrate people, to uplift and encourage others. And we say in our student ministry that we want to be other people focused, not me focused. We know that love serves. When love serves, it's putting other people above ourselves. Love is not self-seeking. It's always doing things for others. But here's a dilemma for you, and here's a dilemma for me. The dilemma for us in this world is that our heart is actually self-seeking, and that you and I actually want to do things for ourselves. And it's hard for us sometimes to serve because we think deep down in our heart it's actually not what it wants to do. But for Jesus, we see the example of him lowering himself, putting a towel around his waist and serving his disciples. And that wasn't the place of Jesus to even do that right now, but you see the example that he's setting, that love always serves. The second thing is this, that true love never stops pursuing. True love never stops pursuing. That Jesus was so close to death. He was about to be betrayed, to put on the cross. He was so close to death, yet he was still pursuing and teaching his disciples when he knew the things that were going to come. I'm sure his emotions were in different places. I'm sure the things that going on in his mind, he might have been a little bit fearful, but true love never stopped pursuing, and he never stopped pursuing his disciples during this time. It's actually God's nature to love, and actually you can't take love away from God. He actually is loving at all times. It's not possible for him to stop loving. Therefore, it's impossible for him to stop pursuing. He even knew before, listen to this, even before he started to wash Judas's feet, he knew that Judas was going to betray him. And what did he do? He still washed Judas's feet when he knew that Judas was going to be the one that was going to sell him over to the government to put him on a cross to die. That's what love looks like. That's what pursuing actually looks like, is to put others in front of yourself. This is the God that we serve, right? And that Jesus showed us that we have to first serve, that he has to first serve us. That's what the gospel looks like. The gospel has to be received. There isn't anything that you and I can do to achieve the gospel. We can only freely receive it because Jesus has served you and he served me. The next thing is this. If Jesus, who is Lord of all, would choose to lower himself to do the job of the least important servant by washing his friends' feet, then we should always be willing to serve others. Just think about this. Jesus was king. Jesus was Lord. He was God. Fully man, fully God, but he chose to wash other people's feet. At that time, it was serving someone at the highest level. And I'm saying if God can do this on earth as Jesus, then you and I can take that example and do the same thing. It's to serve other people. So my question for us right now is this, is what are you serving? What am I serving during this quarantine time that you're in, right? Maybe for a lot of you, you haven't left your house in the last couple of weeks. Maybe you haven't been doing a lot of things. Maybe it's just been school that you've been doing or hanging out with your family. But the question for you and for me to ask ourselves is, what am I serving during this time? And it's so easy for you and I to be me-focused. It's so easy during this time because we are isolated to be focused on ourselves. Jesus made the greatest impact on earth, and he was only on the earth for 33 years. Think about that. Someone who lived on the earth for 33 years had made the greatest impact of all time. Why? Why did Jesus make such a big impact on this world? He served people, he loved people, and he ended up laying his life down for everyone. Because of that, Jesus served. He made the biggest impact in the history of the world. So the question for us right now is, what are we leaving on this earth? What are you leaving during this time? What are you being remembered for right now, even in this quarantine time? What are people thinking about you, right? Jesus had made one of the biggest impacts because he never stopped pursuing, and during this time, true love never stops pursuing. You know, I couldn't help but read through the crucifixion stories last week in the different Gospels and seeing how different people were talking to Jesus and turning Jesus in to be betrayed and the things that were happening in his life. But one of the things that stuck out to me by reading this in Matthew, I read this last week. It says this in Matthew 22. We think of Jesus and we know that he was turned over to the government, and actually Pilate at that time was the governor in Jerusalem where they were in. Pilate says this, "What shall I do then with Jesus, who is called the Messiah?" Pilate asked. They all answered, "Crucify him." Why? What crime has he committed? Asked Pilate. But then shouted all the louder, "Crucify him." When Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, but that instead an uproar was starting, he took water and washed his hands in front of the crowd. I want you just to think about that for a second. All these people are yelling at Pilate. Pilate, being the governor during this time, he had a title and a responsibility, right? And then he says, "I am innocent of this man's blood," he said. "It's your responsibility." That's what Pilate said to the people. This is what I want to talk us right now. Jesus had no title in the society, right? Still he chose to serve. Still he chose to love. He was falsely accused, committed no crime whatsoever, was perfect, and didn't even commit a single sin. Now think about Pilate. Pilate was a governor at that time. He had a responsibility. He had a title. Right? Why? Jesus, the opposite, right? Jesus is getting in the muck and the mud with his disciples. He's getting in the muck and the mud with you and I because he's in the middle of our problems. He chose to serve people even in his last days, chose to live in humility. Why? Because Jesus had a responsibility. Listen to this. Jesus had a responsibility, and nothing was going to take that responsibility away from him. Pilate had a title. Pilate had a responsibility to make sure there was no criminal trials, right? The trial that Jesus was put on the cross was an illegal trial. And yet he said, this is what he says. What does he do? He washes his hands and he says, I had no part of this. This is now your problem. But I want to ask us a question right now. Is right, we've all been washing our hands during this time, right? And I hope that you're washing your hands during this time because you need to stay clean from the coronavirus, right? But I want to ask us a question is, am I washing my feet during this time or am I washing my hands? Have I taken a back seat to loving and serving right now? Think about what Pilate said, this isn't my responsibility, when it really was his responsibility that he threw away. He said, this is your responsibility, this is up to you now. I have no part of this. What are you doing right now? What's the responsibility that you have right now? Has it kind of just been about you? Is it kind of just about the things that you want to do during this time? Am I missing the opportunity right now in relieving our Christian responsibility to serve and love others right now that need it most? And see, as a responsibility, as a follower of Christ, that you have a responsibility, and that responsibility never goes away. Just because we may be in shelter in place or everything seems to be canceled doesn't mean that the responsibility as you as a follower of Christ has been lifted at all. The responsibility as a Christian never lifts, no matter what is going on in your life and no matter in our life. And right now, I want to challenge us that we need to find new ways right now to love in our home. We need to find new ways to serve other people in our home, right? To minister, to spread the gospel, to make disciples in the places that we are right now. Students, I want us to be known by how well we love and serve people in our community. Think about the people that you can impact right now by just being at home, right? So find new ways to live out the calling of the gospel. Think about new things. And I love this thing. I love this illustration. There's one of our high school girls last week. Me and Macy woke up on Easter morning and we get a text message and it says, look outside your door. And we look outside of our door, and there's a vase of flowers outside of our door, and there's a cross that has been painted, and she had left it on our front porch. That right there is knowing your responsibility and realizing your responsibility as a Christian. Because the next day, from the same exact person, Macy and I got a note in the mail, and it was an encouraging note, and it talked about things of what she was grateful for during this time and how we've impacted her life during this time. That right there was this person, this high school girl, her realizing her responsibility to still encourage people during this time, to still love people during this time, to still serve people during this time. So find practical ways that you can show love this week. We come up with a couple of ways that we can actually show love this week. Encouraging text messages, notes, right? Growing in grace. We want to grow in grace. We want to grow in knowledge. We want our grace to be strengthened during this time and increase. We want to serve the church. Guess what? Corinth, at our church right now, last week for spring break, we fed over 100 families last week because of the food drop-offs that you as a church have done. So every single Monday from 8 to 10 a.m. and 4 to 6 p.m., we're having food drop-offs that you can help be a part of to serve our church. Help your family around the house, right? You can think about doing those things. Put your mom, dad, brothers, and sisters' needs above yours. How am I going to keep my responsibility? I keep serving, and I keep loving, and I keep pursuing. Ask people how you can pray for them during this time. Ask your small group how you can pray for them. Share with others what Jesus is doing in your life. These are simple ways and new ways in which you can love and minister to people. Our focus right now is service over comfort. We're not going to be so in comfort right now that we don't choose to live out our responsibility as a follower of Christ, but we're going to serve people instead, right? We're going to do it the safe ways, we're going to do it the right ways, and we're going to do it the legal ways. But just because we're in shelter in place doesn't mean that you as a Christian, your responsibility of loving and encouraging has suddenly just disappeared. So I want to ask yourself this question, is that Christianity hasn't stopped. Just because the world is on shutdown, we aren't on shutdown. And Jesus also says, I was talking about this for a lead pastor this week, is that Jesus says personally that they will know you by your fruit. They will know you the way your life is lived, not who you tune in to watch on a Wednesday or a Sunday. Yeah, we may be watching a lot of sermons on YouTube, but Jesus physically says they will know you by your fruit, not what pastor you choose to tune into and watch on YouTube right now. They will know you by your fruit. So think of ways that you can love and minister right now and encourage people, just like the high school girl did in our student ministry. Jesus was in the muck and dirtiness of serving. Pilate said, no, not me. This isn't my job. This isn't my responsibility. So let me just ask you, who are you going to be during this quarantine? Who will you be during this quarantine? Are you going to love and serve others? Are you going to put others in front of yourself? Are you going to be like Pilate and say, you know what? not responsibility. I'll wait till this is older. I'll wait till this is over to kind of get back to what the things I was doing. Who are you going to be during this quarantine? And I want you to ask yourself this question: what does my life look like right now? Am I looking for new ways to love and serve other people? And if not, what needs to change? Because God is working right now, Corinth. God is working right now during this time. Don't be the one who's not working. Realize your Christian responsibility. Realize the responsibility that Jesus has given you to make disciples, to spread the gospel, and to baptize, right? Those are the great commission that Jesus has given us. But who am I going to be during this time? Am I going to be Jesus who's serving and loving other people, putting other people's needs above myself? I'm going to say, you know what? I'm just going to wait to the end of this time so this is over to that. Who are you going to be during this time? Students, we love you so much. We hope this has impacted you. We hope that small groups are going to go great. I'm going to pray for us, and then we'll send over to my good friend Ty. Father, thank you for tonight. God, thank you for your word. God, it pierces us through the heart, and I pray it forces us to change things in our life because we know that those changes lead to you. Those changes lead to good things in our life, and I pray that we would take this story of Jesus and this example of Jesus, and we would love people during this time. We'd find new ways to love people and to serve people during this time. God, I pray that we would be the people in our student ministry that be remembered during this time that would make an impact in our community, that people will remember who we are because of our fruit, not because who we tune in to watch. God, we love you so much. Thank you for Jesus. You made all this happen tonight. Amen. I want to send it over to my good friend, Ty.
Thank you, Caleb, for that encouraging message. A few takeaways that I got was the main question is, what am I serving during this time of quarantine? And that, Jesus took any circumstance and used it as a way to serve others no matter what was going on. And that also that our true love never stops pursuing. So no matter, what's going on in this world, that our love from Jesus and our love towards others should never stop pursuing things like that. Some simple ways to serve others around you in our community are just to text your friends or family members that you don't see often and give them some encouragement. Like Caleb said, you can serve the church by participating in those food drop-offs or even just volunteering to help. And the last thing you could do, or other things you could do, is just to pray for others during this time, because prayer is very much needed. So, and our mindset for this time is our focus is to serve over comfort. So, at this time, we will be going into small groups on Zoom. If you were not a part of a small group, feel free to comment in the section below and we will get you connected. We thank you for joining in tonight, and we look forward to seeing you on Sunday on our Instagram Live for Corinth students. That's where you can find us, and we'll do community groups on there. Thank you again, and yeah.